Hey everybody, it's me, Beth Minardi. I'm standing in front of the beautiful Metropolitan Museum in New York City and steps away from the salon where I see clients at Karen McKenna. Stay tuned. We've got a day of transitioning a brunette into a redhead. You're gonna love it. All right, everybody, this is the wonderful Sabrina who works with me here at Karen McKenna. She's a co-colorist. And look at this hair. It almost looks, you would say black, but it's dark brown. A lot of times women say they want to be red, and if you make their hair red all over and they see red close to the scalp, they freak out. But if they're brunette and they have a lot of red highlights, this transition makes them less frightened and more readily able to accept their fabulous new red hair. As you know, I love red. I love all colors. I did Julianne Moore's color. I did Rene Russo for the Thomas Crown Affair. There are reds that are cool, reds that are warm, reds that are soft, reds that are bright. And it is up to you to decide what's going to look best on your client's perfect skin tone. When you do a color, it is the blow dry and finish that sells that beauty. So I'm going to be using a formula in permanent color, and if you're using Rusk color, we have a permanent dye color 666, and also I'm going to mix it with 744, a very red with a little copper. So the formula will be between a level 6 and 7. If you apply a level 6 formula to level 2 hair, the final result will be a level 4, and that's important. Guys, no matter what brand you use, hair must be lightened to a level 4, 5, 6, or 7 in order to show red. That's what we call the red zone. Red needs the support of certain levels and the lift of certain levels in order to show up regardless of the brand you're using. I'm going to be highlighting her with some lighter, brighter pieces so that we're going to have a real pop of red on red later on with the pre-lightened strands. And many of you know that I'm nuts about the Rusk cream lightener, which has the power of a powder, but also the gentleness and control of a cream. So we're using a level 6 red and a level 7 copper. I'm finding that putting some copper helps the reflect and red look redder, especially when you're working on very dark hair. So our formula is between a 6 and 7. The natural hair is a 2. So our final result will be a level 4 red hair. There's no background in these shades, so they produce very strong, vibrant red results. We develop them at room temperature for 45 minutes, and I use 20 volume developer. With Rusk color, the normal mixture is 1 ounce color, 2 ounces 20 volume developer. I'm sectioning vertically in about 1/8 of an inch sections, and you can really see how this just glides into the hair. I always teach you that the hair close to the scalp is privy to the heat of the scalp and wants to lighten, while the hair on the ends is not privy to the heat of the scalp, and because it's more porous can often grab a little darker and drabber. So I'm going to add just a little 1/2 ounce of the lighter portion of my formula, the 744, with a little more developer, and then I'm going to apply to the mids and ends of the hair. I'm just checking here to make sure she's thoroughly saturated. And I call when my team and I are working, I say cross check. If you put the color on in vertical sections, check horizontally. If you put the color on in horizontal sections, check it vertically. And regardless of the brand you use, I'm teaching you how to color hair. I'm not just teaching you to use a brand. I'll be right back to continue my application, and we're on our way. No, but I've added a little more of the level 7 color and a little more of the 20 volume developer. So many people, I feel very differently about how people believe that peroxide volume makes a tremendous difference in deposit and lift. While there is a bit of a difference when you raise the volume of developer, it's not that much. If you want to lighten a shade, it's better to mix with a lighter shade than to use the same shade and just mix it with higher volume. Now that's a Beth Minardi thing. If you believe a different way and you're an expert and you've been doing this forever, God bless you. I would never want to change what you believe is right. I'll just show you the way I work and how I've been able to create some success for myself in this beautiful, colorful world. Now on the top, we're going to be using the same formula, but I'm also going to be in one bowl putting some really cool shots of lighter. I'm going to bleach some of this hair so that later when we glaze it, we're going to have a really hot red on red. When the hair is not saturated, it doesn't come up evenly. When the hair is not saturated, people say the color didn't work. Well, you know, that's why I don't take 15-minute appointments. My appointments with my clients are 90 minutes each because most of them are dimensional. And I'd rather see 5 people a day at $300 than 300 people a day at $5. Okay. People who've worked with me in the past, my team members, people I've taught, people who come to my classes, when I tell them to build a wall, they know that I'm taking foil. I don't want this hair from the front to marry. I want to protect the back hair and I want to protect the front hair. So I take my foil and I just build a wall between what I did, because I'm going to be working a little differently in the top. 1 ounce of this is mixed with 2 ounces of 10, 20, 30, or 40 volume developer. But when I mix bleach, I also do it to consistency. And I like my bleach to be not too thick, not too watery, like thick sour cream, you know? If bleach is too watery, it can bleed. If it's too stiff, it can make spots. So I'm gonna mix this, and I'm gonna continue with my same color formula as well as with this. And when we're finished, we're gonna glaze the whole thing with liquid demi-color. She's gonna be a redhead. So what I'm gonna do here is when I'm working in large sections, I'm just going to apply color to her regrowth area. But when I work around the face, I prefer using the smaller brush because I don't just going to whap it on. She's got these little baby hairs that we don't want to miss, which you don't ever want to mess with people. But at the same time, you don't want to slap this woman in the face and have red all over her face. So, so now that I have this retouch on, let's play with the dimension that we're going to place in this hair. So instead of it just being one monochromatic red, we're going to make it red on red. And if I bleach this hair and then glaze it with a liquid demi's bright red, she'll be Richter scale red on red, which I love to do. And I'm making sure I don't want to bleach into that root. That's where the color is, but I am applying. So this strand is going to be a lighter. When we're finished, this is going to look like an orangey yellow, and I'm going to glaze the whole thing with liquid demi. And so it's nice to take and make sure that the red color is worked into that. And so that I don't make any mistakes with the hair overlapping, one of the things I like to do is just put another foil on top and not fold it. Those who've been in my classes know there's nothing like my single prong clips. And by the way, I did a very good class with Elaine Travis recently for her revival group, and we're going to do a cocktail party follow-up to that very soon. And she and I are going to be doing an evening of mentoring. So stay tuned. She'll be announcing that on her page, as well as my announcing it on our Facebook, Beth Minardi Conversations page. And again, of course, I advocate for brands I use, and I'm a consultant for the Rusk Company, but my goal is to help you that, of course I hope you use what I use. However, my goal as a human being is for you to become a better colorist. So I'm bringing this up and into the hair a bit. And now I'm going to, let's do this one a bit bolder, making sure that I omit that hair close to the scalp, but saying to myself, brighter ends, lighter ends, lighter ends, brighter ends. And notice I hold the brush vertically and I don't make it like a straight line. I zigzag and melt them into that regrowth area. And again, taking my foil, and I can clip that in there. Okay. You're going to notice I'm going to veer off and not just continue wrapping one on top of the other in a horizontal fashion. Let's go off on an angle, which we can show to the camera. You might be thinking, what would happen if Beth did a few foils and rather than bleaching them, used the bright red formula on them? So we'd have a red on red thing, fandango going on here, which I'm doing. And notice back-to-back foil means there's nothing left in between, okay? So here we go. So you've got a nice couple of strands here that are going to be deeper, but they're going to be red. So let's continue a bit here. And again, I'm going to be working, and if Sabrina lowers her chin, you can see instead of horizontally just parallel to the foil underneath, I'm zigging and zagging and creating another lay of where that hair is going to fall. This is a much more impressionistic, artistic way to color hair, I believe, because you don't see stripe, stripe, light, no stripe, 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 yikes, stripes. You see a fall of different shade on shade moving through the hair. That's a good slice. Let's take a bold slice and let's paint this one pretty much melted toward the ends for brightness. As we move toward her face, we can go a little bit down to the wood, closer to the face. And let's do another back-to-back of some bleach. Let's do another really bright, bright piece. Of course, at the root, I want to make sure that we tap in. And on the ends, here we go. Again, this is the Rusk Deep Shine Cream Lightener, and you'll notice it's not fluffing or drying up. And I'm using the Deep Shine Permanent Color, equal parts of 666 and 744 in the permanent color. Now, you might want to simply do an all-over global redhead, as we showed in the nape. But sometimes, even if every third or fourth appointment with a client, you weave in a few little highlights or lowlights, it keeps them dimensional and it keeps it very special. And there's 3, and you see they're not all equilaterally horizontal. They're different shapes because God didn't give you squares coming out of your head. The light would hit you differently. I'm going to take a tiny little break here, put some hair in between, and then here's section 4. And then to be certain that I get more pop but coming from another angle, let's part off in another direction. Be sure to tune into my Facebook page, Conversations with Top Color Professionals, and to Elaine's Professional Color Solutions page so you can find out about our upcoming events. And she and I will be mentoring and teaching. When the Midwest show, we now call America's Beauty Show, is back, I'll be teaching there. And we are finished, guys. After this one, we're going to process this now at room temperature for 30 minutes, and I will glaze her magic. So again, this is creating a dimensional bright red on natural level 2 dark brown, super thick, coarse, dense, curly hair.
The best way to blow dry hair, the first thing is you want to start off with very, very wet hair. Because with curly hair, you want to be able to have that stretch. You can easily manipulate it with the brush and the heat. You want to have a good detangler, comb through the hair from the roots to the ends, and then after that you want to add in something that's going to give it also a little moisture and protection throughout the blow dry. So you want to have a heat protectant as well. I like to start off with a boar brush. That allows you to get a really good grip on the hair, and it's almost immediate that you'll see the smoothing once you apply the heat, and you just keep applying the heat and the movement of the brush, and you will see that the hair will start to adhere and take on a beautiful gloss and shine, aided by the bristle brush. At the very end, I like to add in just a little bit more serum, and sometimes I'll do a light shine spray. You don't want to overdo it. You just want to make sure that it just kind of enhances the work that you've created. I like to just do a light misting all over the head, and then also just a little bit of fine finishing spray, just a quick spritz of finishing spray.